Hello, I'm Hope Mitchell from Brides to Be of Lewis, Delaware, here at WBOC's historical Studio D. You're watching Delmarva Life.
It is great having Hope here. The dresses are absolutely gorgeous. Wait till you see them.
I want one of each.
You know what? You need to come here and see it in person. We've got a seat waiting for you in the Delmarva Life Historic Studio D audience. Be a part of the fun. You can book your seat by going to delmarvalife.com and clicking on the show tab, or call the number 443-880-9116. Did you know Americans spend a whopping $18 billion a year on pet food? Whether you buy that food at the grocery store, pet store, even your vet's office, the list of choices can be dizzying.
Yeah, I'm always confused. And there are thousands of brands of dry food, hundreds of canned food, and now there's another choice to consider.
Jan Kostaszak has bred and shown Scotty dogs for more than 3 decades. After her first 10 years on the show circuit, she heard about the raw diet, tried it, and became an instant believer.
Then I tried other foods, and then I went back to kibble. But you know, I remember people would say, the best dogs out there were Jan's.
The raw diet is exactly that, feeding your dog the whole raw animal. That means not just the meat itself, but also the bone, fur, and organs. It can come from beef, elk, fish, even vegetable protein sources. The diet itself has been around since the early 90s, but it gained popularity a few years ago during all those pet food recalls.
There's 3,000 different brands of foods out there, so it's very hard to decide. So a minority of people, you mentioned some breeders, are picking up on this raw food diet.
Christy Hudak, a dog trainer and handler, feeds her dogs the raw diet. She admits it costs more money. However, depending on what brand of food your dog eats right now, it may not be that different.
If you're feeding a high quality kibble, it's pretty comparable. If you're feeding the grocery store $5 bags, then it's going to be more. But if you're feeding a good quality kibble for, $50-$60 a bag, then you could even save money.
Another concern is the health impact, not so much for your pet, but for you.
88% of the dogs that eat them are excreting Salmonella and E. coli. So now we bring those dogs into our house, we love them, we hug them, we kiss them, we let them on our furniture, on our bed in some cases. And now we're putting people at risk for Salmonella and E. coli, and that does happen.
There are a half-dozen animals on Hutchinson's farm. His dogs and cats eat nothing but dry food. He has prescribed the raw diet, but mainly to treat dogs with health problems like inflammatory bowel disease or allergies. Yet for use as a regular diet for an otherwise healthy animal, Dr. Hutchinson says the risk just isn't worth it.
If you have an older person that's immunosuppressed, a young child, or anybody that's on chemotherapy and those kinds of problems, they could be picking up these diseases from our dogs, and that is not acceptable.
Hudak doesn't dispute that concern, but argues working with raw dog food is no riskier than handling the food she eats.
It takes maybe a minute to clean up after you, like if you're preparing raw meat for your family, you clean up the bowl, you wash the bowls, you clean the counter, you wash your hands.
She also believes her shepherds eat a more nutritionally complete diet as well.
A lot of the dry foods are processed with grains and preservatives that dogs can't digest, and they're also cooked at such a high temperature that most of their nutritional value is lost in the heating process.
People want to go back to the diets of the wolves, and remember, we're 100,000 years separated from that, and the digestive tracts have changed since then in our domestic animals. We can't compare a wolf diet to a dog diet.
But even with the high cost, extra work, and added risk, Hudak and Jan say the raw diet is worth it.
There's no odor. Their energy levels, and my dogs are very athletic, they're athletes, and I can see that they have much more energy in their stamina as well.
No, I won't go back. I know the difference in my dogs. They're all peppy, they're happy, they're not fat.
Well, in the end, the decision is up to you, so be sure to do your research before making the switch. Well, up next on Delmarva Life, when it comes to prom dresses, there are so many styles, colors, fabrics, and lengths. We'll learn more on the top trends for this year, plus a look at the hot wedding dresses as well.
But first, we've talked about the food for your dog. Now, Dr. Oz shares tips on how you can stay healthy around your furry friend.
Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. 15% of Americans are allergic to their pets. To shed your pet allergy, eliminate dander from your home by using a vacuum with a HEPA filter. Place a pet bed outside the bedroom with a washable throw. And wash your pet once a week. Bathe dogs with anti-allergen shampoos and cats with bath wipes available at pet stores.